Today we're checking out a mod that adds real physics to Minecraft. Break a block and it shatters into dozens of pieces. And that's just one of 9 features we're breaking down today. We'll look at every physics effect, rate how realistic it is, and see how it changes our regular survival game. Let's start with the most obvious one, block breaking. Glass here actually shatters into tiny fragments. Break a tree and the whole thing collapses. Stone is much denser. It also breaks into chunks, but it feels like heavy debris. Even a door doesn't just disappear now. It falls on your head, and yes, you can kick it back. By the way, every feature has its own settings. For blocks, we can configure the breaking physics. There are 4 types here. Crumbled voxel turns blocks into hundreds of tiny fragments. Fractured, the material cracks along fracture lines. This looks especially cool on glass and stone. Blocky is a compromise between realism and the vanilla style. And particles, this is minimalistic. Particles fall and fade away. It looks neat and almost vanilla. A great option for weaker PCS. But the main thing is, we can adjust the debris size. You've already seen the standard animation, but if you turn it up to max, the block breaks into huge chunks. It looks weird, but fun. And if you set it to minimum, the block literally turns to dust. This looks especially cool with glass or sand. They just pour down. For the breaking physics, I give a solid 8 out of 10. The effect is awesome, but it's not fully realistic yet. We'll get to water soon, but let's finish with blocks first. If you're digging in a cave, be careful. The ceiling can collapse right on your head, and that's another cool feature of this mod. In vanilla Minecraft, sand and gravel fall as solid blocks, but that's too boring. Now, every piece follows gravity. It has its own weight and trajectory. If you collapse a whole wall, it turns into a real avalanche. Imagine, you find diamonds in a cave, you're mining them, and everything above starts crumbling down. It's really fun, but it gets in the way. However, the developers thought of that. In the Collapse tab, you can turn off cave-ins and keep only the visual beauty. For this mechanic, I give a 5 out of 10. It's spectacular, but in survival mode, it quickly becomes annoying. But the physics doesn't just work with blocks. Let's see what happened to living creatures. Every mob and animal now has a sense of mass and weight. When they die, their bodies obey the laws of physics. There are a few modes to choose from. Ragdoll breaking is the most hardcore. Body parts can break off. Spider legs, a zombie's arm, or even a skeleton's head flies off. It looks creepy, but realistic at the same time. Blocky is for those who don't want the gore. Mobs break into cubes, keeping the Minecraft style. For example, a pig turns into a pile of pink blocks. Fractured adds a broken statue effect. Bodies break apart into large chunks. And blood fractured for the bravest. The same effect, but with red traces. The chunks fall to the ground and leave stains behind. This all looks very impressive. And personally, I give this section a strong 10 out of 10. But physics isn't just about mobs. The real magic starts when we go down to the water. In vanilla, the ocean is just a flat blue surface. It never moves. And it looks familiar, of course, but not very realistic. But now the water surface is covered with waves that are constantly moving. From a height, the ocean looks like a real sea, and it's especially beautiful at different times of the day. The settings are very flexible. You can turn waves on and off, adjust their height, speed, and the foam's transparency. The water even reacts to rain. Drops create ripples on the surface, and you get crazy waves. It looks really intense. For the implementation, I give a solid 10 out of 10. But the most interesting thing is that physics works not only with water. Even cold biomes with snow and ice follow new rules. Now, snow finally feels alive. Every step leaves a footprint, and you get the feeling that you're walking on real snow. Mobs also trample the surface, and it looks very atmospheric. Here you can control the surface thickness. If you increase the value, the snow looks deep and dense. At max values, the footprints don't look very nice. You can also control the snow's detail level. The higher the value, the more detailed the surface becomes, but the harder it is on your PC. Snowballs now behave like real balls. You can roll them on the ground and even push them. And then the magic begins. Snow near a campfire starts to melt, and ice turns into water. It's like the world reacts to heat. And the most spectacular thing is when ice breaks apart in whole sheets. It looks truly epic. It's these little details that make the winter biome feel alive and truly atmospheric. For this feature, I give a 10 out of 10. But now even the smallest details are different. For example, dropped items don't just float in the air anymore. They behave like real objects. They wobble underwater or just lie on the ground. Vines and reeds react to touch. If you accidentally brush against them, they start to sway and bend. Doors now have slight movement inertia. They will swing, and the movement looks smooth and realistic. You can even get stuck in them, so be careful. Trapdoors behave in a similar way. They also sway. By the way, vines hang in caves too, and if you touch them, they will also move. When you run, your cape flows in the wind and bends. All these soft objects react to gravity and wind. Yeah, this mod has weather, so if there's heavy rain or wind, banners and capes will sway more. But we'll talk about weather a bit later. The vanilla leash is just a straight, tense line, but now it bends and stretches when the animal moves. The same goes for the fishing rod. It bends depending on the distance. These might seem like small things, but they are what make the world feel alive and realistic. I give these additions a confident 10 out of 10. There are also separate settings for break animations. When you break blocks, the debris doesn't just vanish. You choose exactly how it disappears. The portal effect makes debris look like it's being sucked into another world. A purple glow pulls them right into the end. Splash turns the disappearance into splashes. Vanish is a soft fade. Particles disappear smoothly and neatly. Explosion creates a small blast. Debris flies apart sharply, adding a bit of dynamism. Poof is a little dust cloud, a light option, like everything just turns to dust in the air. And bounce is the most fun mode. The debris bounces a few times and then melts away. So destructions now feel almost cinematic. For the animations, I give an 8 out of 10. They're cool, but I'd like to see even more options. But now, even the smoke in the game adds to the atmosphere. In vanilla, smoke is just identical gray columns. But now, smoke becomes a real spectacle. Every source has its own character. A campfire releases light particles that slowly fade in the air. This looks especially beautiful at night when they stand out in the dark. And a fire in a house or forest becomes truly realistic. Trees smolder. Thick smoke rises into the air, and the whole world feels more dangerous. Here you can control not only the number of particles, but also their color and lifespan. You can configure the smoke intensity separately for campfires, fire, and other sources. For example, you can make a campfire produce almost no smoke, or, on the contrary, increase the amount of smoke. Maybe someone will like that. It might seem like these are just particles, but it's these little things that make the game realistic and alive. For the smoke, I'd give a 7 out of 10. It's beautiful, but I'd still like more variety. Now, when the weather changes in the game, it transforms even more. But as you know, the game never had wind. This mod makes it part of the game. Now snow, rain, and even dust particles are affected by the wind. A light breeze turns rain into a slanting downpour. And if you're sailing in water and turn up the wave settings, a real storm begins. The water churns. Waves crash and the world looks much more dangerous. There's also a flexible system for controlling the weather, from wind strength to precipitation amount, and particle transparency. You can adjust the wind force from a light breeze to a hurricane. During a thunderstorm at max settings, blocks, particles, and even smoke fly everywhere. For rain, snow, and dust, you can set your own values. This allows you to make snow light and semi-transparent, or conversely, dense and cinematic. Plus, transparency is another way to optimize. By reducing it, you can keep the atmosphere but reduce the load on rendering. Thanks to the wind, grass sways, and mob debris gets picked up by the wind. It all looks incredibly atmospheric. With this mod, Minecraft feels new every time. Personally, I give the physics mod a solid 9 out of 10. I recommend checking out this video if you're into epic Minecraft mod packs. Thanks for watching.